Hi, and welcome to another episode of Better Golfer Today. We have a great new show planned for y'all today. As always, I try and provide the best insights into the world of golf. Whether it is tips, instruction, equipment, or anything else golf related. This week's main topic is going to be on the 2018 PGA Merchandise Show. This week's show will be a little different, as I will be going over the highlights of the show and demo day, and what I liked, and what I didn't like. So, if you're ready to go, let's get started. So, highlights of demo day. So, the PGA Merchandise Show is a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Tuesday. I'm sorry. It's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday event. So Tuesday is demo day, and that's the first day, and it's at a driving range. And so, like I said, the PGA Merchandise Show demo day takes place at the magnificent Orange County National, which is in Winter Garden, Florida, which is just down the road, about 15 minutes from Disney World. Their driving range is at least 500 yards wide and spans an entire 360 degrees. Get that. It's 500 yards across, and it's 360 degrees all around. That's how big their driving range is. It's huge. It's so big. They typically have like long drive people come out there all the time, and from the top, you can kind of, maybe if you really crank one and it's really dry, you can get one to the bottom. But yeah, it is a massive driving range. Almost all of the teeing grounds have two tees, and so they have a forward one and a backward one, or back one. So two tees. I think there's at least 4 putting greens, and there are several chipping greens. So needless to say, this driving range is very impressive. Just the entire Orange County National facility is very impressive. They had some good golf courses there, really good golf courses. So their 2 18-hole tracks they're good. They're really good. They're challenging. They have hosted Q School in the past, so it's a good facility. It's a great facility to host like 50,000 people that show up for this thing. So, and they can easily handle it. So, great place. All the big companies and a lot of smaller ones have stations and displays at Demo Day. TaylorMade, Titleist, Wilson, Callaway, Ping, Cobra, Scotty Cameron, Vokey, Odyssey, KBS shafts, Aerotech shafts, Graphite Design shafts, and many more all have a place to try out their equipment. There are even some launch monitor companies and dozens of other small vendors. The biggest and my favorite display was definitely TaylorMade. TaylorMade pulls out all the stops. Their roughly 3-hour wait to try equipment was typical for them, as they usually have the longest waits to try out all their new gear. So what you do is you go in and you put your name in, and they give you like a buzzer, and they say come back in like 2 or 3 hours. Yeah, that's how long their wait is. It's insane. Like, they have so many people running through there. Literally everyone comes in there to try out their stuff. And TaylorMade has, 40, 50 guys, 60 guys that are there working. And so you get like an entire one-on-one experience with one of their reps, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, they definitely pull out all the stops. So, again, we went there, and that was our first stop, and we slid right in, and we tried out the new M3 and M4 drivers and fairway woods, and they were awesome. Really cool. The new twist face technology is pretty impressive. So, I'm not one that has a lot of trouble squaring the face up at impact. So I benefit a lot from this technology, because off-center hits, this technology really straightens it out. So the M3 and M4 drivers were really, really cool. I hit the M4 driver the best, which I was a little surprised at because I figured I'd hit the M3 the best. But the M4 driver went pretty far for me and very, very straight. So like that a lot. As of demo day, I tried out some 3-woods. I don't know if I've mentioned this before in other podcasts, but my 3-wood that I'm currently using is, well, it's definitely cursed. It doesn't work. So I've been trying out more 3-woods, and even after demo day, still need some more testing and evaluation to figure out what 3-wood's going to work out best for me. I got to hit the new M3 irons. Those were actually surprisingly very, very nice. Very, very easy to hit. They went far. They got a nice ball flight to them. Very straight. So if you're a better player looking for some irons, not necessarily maybe a 1, 2, or 3 handicap, but maybe like a 5 or 6, 7, 8 handicap, the M3 irons are something you should seriously consider. Especially if you like hitting the ball high and far. They were good. And I got to hit the new P790 irons from TaylorMade. Those were also really, really good. TaylorMade's pavilion was complete with a putting green, ball testing, and a bar. Yep, grab a beer, try out some new golf balls, sample the new putters, and learn all about their newest wedges. It's a pretty awesome presentation. So after spending almost 2 hours at TaylorMade, it was time to move on. Not saying we wore out our welcome, but I am saying we spent a lot of time there. So, yeah. Time to move on. So, we shot right up from TaylorMade was the Callaway place. And so, we checked out all their gear, filmed some really cool videos, and then shot over the ping. A lot of people wanted me to try out the new ping gear, but after standing in line for 15 minutes and not moving, I decided that Titleist and FootJoy would be a better option, so I slid over there. I really didn't feel like waiting a couple hours to try out ping gear. There was only like 15 people in line. I figured it would move rather quickly, and it didn't move at all. So a couple people got out of the line in front of me, and then I was like, I'm done. I personally wasn't wanting to try anything out. So again, filmed some videos of all their equipment. Those are all up. I did those on Facebook Live. So if you go to the Facebook page, you should be able to find them. Went over to Titleist and FootJoy. Over there, I tried out the new drivers, the new hybrids, and the AP2 and AP3 irons. I really, really liked the AP3 irons. They felt great. I think they were a little bit smaller of an iron head versus the M3 from TaylorMade. But I really, really liked them. I think they're supposed to be more of a cross between a muscleback and the AP2. I tried out the AP2s, and they don't work for me. A lot of people love them. They're not for me. They feel clunky. They feel bulky, and they're not even that big, but they just they kind of clunk through the ground. They just don't fit me well. But the AP3s I really, really liked. They were really nice clubs. So really, really liked the AP3s. And the AP2s, again, they're good clubs. They just didn't feel right for me. From there, I slid over to the chipping green, which is right behind Titleist's presentation, because I wanted to see the new SM7 wedges by Titleist. They were designed by Bob Vokey, and they have a new color out this year, black. So they've used black in the past, and then they always end up like going away from it and then coming back. I don't know why they go away from it, because black is the best color for a wedge. No glare, the finish feels nice and soft, and yeah, I don't know why they don't use black for everything. Black's great. Plus, they look smaller. Black makes everything look smaller. So there's new black finish, and I was a big fan. I tried out all the 60-degree wedges they had, and I tried out 1 or 2 56-degree wedges-ish. The 60-degree wedges were great, all of them. So they had a new grind this year. I didn't write it down. I believe it was called the D grind, D as in dog. Don't hold me to that. But it has 12 degrees of bounce, and it's similar to an M grind or a V grind. kind of like in between an M grind and a V grind. So a little bit more bounce in a M grind and not as much effective bounce as a V grind. Kind of like that. So I really like that wedge. I wish they had more of the Bob Vokey exclusives there to try. So if you don't know this, every year Bob Vokey comes out with like some exclusives. It's called the Bob Vokey exclusive stuff. He comes out with like 4, 5, or 6, 7, 8 different like special edition wedges. I wish they would have those available to try out, because I've been pining for one of his V-grind wedges for a while. I need to just man up and get one. They're really cool, but they don't come in black. I love black. Black on the wedges is the best color. I don't know if I said that before. It is the best color. It doesn't come in black. It's only in the oil can finish, which is okay, but not the best. But yeah, so tried out all the SM7 wedges. Was a really big fan. They do have that like the weighting on the back of the club. So how the wedge is designed, there's more mass at the top of the club to keep your higher lofted clubs lower to the ground, to help bring the flight down, and there's more mass towards the bottom to help pop the stronger lofted clubs up in the air. I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't need that, but I guess they think it works. I'm sure it does in some on a computer, but anyways, they're still using that. That's the only thing I could gripe about with those wedges. But apart from that, good. Nice spin, great feel, crisp contact with the club. We were hitting shots off of kind of slightly overseeded dormant Bermuda, so something that wasn't super firm, and we were chipping on uphill ice, and the wedges were really bouncing through the ground real nice. They weren't digging, so they did a really good job with the design of those clubs. Really good job. Okay, from there, that was it for our club testing for the day. That was essentially all the stuff we wanted to actually hit balls with. Again, we wanted to hit balls at the Ping, but after spending 2 hours at TaylorMade, and I really didn't care about hitting balls at Ping, so yeah, we were done. So we shot down to the Srixon Cleveland presentation, and we did film some more videos and looked at everything they had to offer. And I like Cleveland and Srixon a lot. They have some really good clubs. So they make some really good, better player clubs, and they have a really good golf ball too. The Srixon golf ball is really good. All the Srixon golf balls are really good, by the way. And so we checked all that stuff out. And then from then, we moved to the party booth that was Cobra Puma. They were giving out Dark and Stormies, which is a really nice touch, especially if you like Dark and Stormies. And yours truly really does like Dark and Stormies, but he was the designated driver for the day, so no drinks for me. But Cobra Puma was really cool, as always. They always have a really cool booth there. Everyone's there, super nice. Great place. So if you're ever at demo day and it's like 2 to 4 p.m., I'd make my way over to Cobra Puma and get something, because they always have something fun over there planned, whether it's like music or a DJ or whatever. It's pretty cool. Next, we moved on to the synthetic turf peoples. So we looked at these. Why we looked at these is because we have a big surprise planned. It's coming soon, and in May we will have more deets. So stay tuned, because we have something really special to share with you guys. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. But we sampled a bunch of different turf types and came away with a really good idea of what we are looking for. After that, we peeked into a few smaller presentations like Leupold and Golf Pride, and before we knew it, it was time to go. And so demo day was it. It was over. It's a lot of fun. Like I mentioned before, Orange County National does a really good job. They're a great host, and we look forward to coming back next year. It's a pretty cool place. If you're ever down there in Orlando, it's worth... Again, if you're in Orlando, you're probably there for Disney World. It's only literally 15 minutes away from Disney World. So Yeah, it's a great place to scoot over to and play. But before we move on to the PGA show, I have a few closing thoughts about Demo Day. TaylorMade sets the bar really high, and Titleist does a really good job too. The other companies need to copy their formula for customer service. If I hang out in your area for 20 minutes and no one is available to talk to you about your product, that's not good. And that happened. And I don't know why it happened, but yeah, I'm looking at stuff and literally no one came to talk to me. Also, with the shaft companies, I wish they would do a better job at presenting their equipment. It would be nice to see a side-by-side comparison of their equipment versus a competitor's. I don't know why they don't do this, but the investment in that sort of presentation could be huge for them, especially if you're comparing steel shafts. I mean, they're cheap. Steel shafts are not expensive at all. I don't know why they don't do this. Like I said, Graphite Design was there, Aerotech was there, KBS was there. Oban was there. I don't know why they don't say, hey, like, this is our product, this is what this shaft is going to do. And here is its competing product with somebody else. And try them out. And hit them side by side and see the difference. Because I will say that a premium shaft is going to respond, it's going to feel better, it's going to give you better numbers, typically. And so I don't know why they don't do that. I don't know why they don't try and step up their game and literally. Anyways, maybe they do all the numbers at their facility and it's nothing noticeable. It's all individual per golfer and it's not. I don't know. But anyways, I wish they would do a little bit better of a job comparing their product versus somebody else. Or saying, or at least have their product so that it highlights what it can do. So like if you have X product and then you put their shaft in it, their shaft is designed to do Y. And so it proves that their shaft can do Y. And like you can actually see how considerable that jump up is versus the standard option. To me, that seems like it'd be a good idea. But maybe they don't think that way. Also, free dark and stormies are the best. Everyone should copy Puma and Cobra on that front. So that was it for Demo Day. Demo Day was over on Tuesday, and then Wednesday kicked off the merchandise show at the Orlando Convention Center. So now instead of saying all the booths we visited, let's just say we saw them all, and I'll highlight some of our favorites, and maybe the ones that need some work. Mostly our favorites because they are our favorites. We obviously saw all the clump companies. Noticeably absent was PXG and Mizuno. They weren't at Demo Day either, and they weren't at the show. That is very disappointing to me. Mizuno is known for their high-quality irons, and I would have loved to have checked them out and give you feedback on them, but they were not there. It's disappointing. PXG is known for their sky-high prices and awesome fitting process. Their sky-high prices shouldn't be a knock on them because they are incredibly customized clubs. And everyone that I know that has them says they're worth the money. So they can't all be wrong, can they? Plus, the guys that are using them on tour do pretty darn good. So there's that. Just saying. I would have loved to have chatted with them about everything about their process, but they weren't there. So maybe next year. But the last 2 years, no PXG, no Mizuno. I don't know why, but it is what it is. We checked out all the clothing companies, but most of the cool stuff were behind closed doors and by appointment only. So that is a bummer, as I'd love to share with you the new styles coming out. So maybe next year we can get some appointments booked, but I don't know. The PGA merchandise show is huge, and it touches a lot of different industries. Glass, leather goods, plastics, netting, fabrics, and electronics are all featured all over the show, as are fitness, health, beauty, rehab, and relaxation companies. So needless to say, golf reaches across many different industries. My favorite indoor display was definitely TaylorMade. Callaway was right there with them with their dual Callaway and Odyssey golf displays. But all three were massive and super, super cool. TaylorMade, you walk in, they have a little tunnel that you walk through with TVs. They're blaring music at you. and they have on a loop. They have all their big staffers like Tiger and Jason Day and Dustin Johnson talking about their newest products, and it's really cool. It's definitely like, hey, like, this is who we are. This is what we do. Come on in. And they kind of, so inside at the convention center, they actually do set up a driving range. TaylorMade grabs like half the driving range. That's how big their footprint is. And so it's pretty impressive presentation. Again, Callaway and Odyssey are no slouches either. But like I said, TaylorMade jumps right on the driving range, and they have that spot, and they lock it down. Callaway, again, there's a lot of business going down. Odyssey was really, really cool. They had a bunch of putting greens in there to try out all their stuff. So it was pretty impressive stuff. Also, the launch monitor and simulator companies brought their A game. The technology boom in golf is still in full swing. There were a wide range of simulators with a big range of prices, starting around $15K and going all the way up for $100,000 for a single bay. The data being collected is some of the most accurate we've ever seen, and that is really, really cool too. Over the past 10 years, there has been a big push to get more tech into the consumer's hands. TrackMan, FlightScope, GolfZone, Foresight, etc., have all been getting their product out there and have almost created a brand new way to play and learn to play golf. People are able to stay indoors and still play a quick 18 or knock out a long practice session. No longer are you held hostage by the weather to get your golf fix on. And the best part about this is it takes a considerably less amount of time, which is pretty awesome. So one of the people there, one of the simulator companies, was telling me a guy, he had a barn on his property, and he was like, you know what, I kind of want to set up a league for me and my friends in my barn. And so he built a simulator in there, and him and his buddies would come over, and they would literally play 18 holes all the time, and like the foursome would be done in like an hour and a half. And they do it all online. It was awesome, and they loved it. And it was so successful that he put like 4 or 5 more bays in his barn. And he's now selling tee times in his barn. So you're seeing a lot of the industry, a lot of shift in the industry right now, going away from that traditional outdoor model, and people are playing indoors, which I think is pretty awesome. It's literally creating a brand new avenue to play golf in America, and you don't have to take up a massive amount of land to do it. I don't know if you're going to see a negative impact on traditional golf with it, but I think you are going to see, hey, it's raining outside. Let's go over here and play at the indoor facility for the day. See if we can get a tee time over there for the foursome. Because, I mean, again, like if you can play 18 holes as a foursome in like an hour and a half, I don't know about you, but that sounds like a pretty sweet time. I know. I would. I'd be down to play some golf like that, and who knows? Maybe I will be able to play some golf like that in Marietta soon. So yeah, I think that'd be pretty awesome. So again, you're seeing a shift in the technology and how technology is presented in golf. Again, like some of this stuff maybe sounds like a lot of money, but like in the realm of things, like when you're talking, mid 7 figures to build a golf course versus mid 6 figures to build a garage and put 4 or 5 hitting bays in there, it's a pretty substantial decrease in investment there to still be able to have people play golf. And again, like you're not going to be able to turn out 4 guys every 10 minutes, but you could do 20 guys every hour and a half. And if your cost is 10 times less to build, think of how much revenue you could be generating in no time flat. You could set up golf leagues, you could set up driving ranges in there, and all that can be done indoors. It's pretty awesome. Indoors and air conditioned. Don't forget about that. So, yeah, pretty cool. Now, pretty much every top player on the PGA Tour has some sort of simulator in their house now. Honestly, they're crazy not to. They've become a lot more affordable and don't take up that much space. And they really don't. They don't take up that much space. especially with a lot of the newer tech coming out. They don't take up a lot of space. People like... So, I'm going to say some names, but I'm not going to say who or what they're using. But people like Tiger Woods, Lee Westwood, Matt Kuchar, they're all using indoor simulators in their house. Again, because it doesn't take up a lot of space. You know, I mean, some of these guys have big houses. Like Tiger has a big house, a really big house, so he can make it work. But like, you know, these guys live in normal life, like a house. They live in a house that you wouldn't expect a guy that makes that kind of money to live in. They're not like these. They're not living in 15,000 square foot houses. But they're living in nice houses, and so, but they're putting these simulators in there, and they're pretty cool. So yeah, it's hard to find anything that underwhelms you at the PGA Merchandise Show. Some of the companies pull out all the stops and leave you very appreciative of your attendance. This year, Scotty Cameron, the famed, famous, awesome, amazing putter maker, came to the Titleist display, and yours truly got to meet him. I've been a huge fan of Scotty Cameron for a long time. I love the guy, and he was super nice, super cool, and he ended up staying literally the entire day, meeting and talking with anyone that came up to him. Pretty impressive guy. He's literally the premier putter maker probably ever in golf, and was really, really nice. So that was really cool to meet him. FootJoy had Adam Scott also in attendance to meet fans and take pictures, but I did not see him because I was on the other side of the building when he came. Last year, Bubba Watson was there, and I think John Daly makes an appearance every year. I did see John Daly there this year, and I thought I saw him last year. He always comes, does a little meet and greet, says hi to some people, hits some shots, and then leaves. So he's typically there, but not for a very long time. All in all, the PGA show is a great experience. We ran into some great friends and look forward to seeing them again next year. Looking back, there really isn't anything worth mentioning that wasn't that great. Most of the people there make really great stuff and are happy to talk with you. And so that's it. That's all we have for you this week. Yeah, I know, right? And that's the PGA show. It's crazy, great thing to go through, great experience to have. Again, it's demo days on Tuesday, then you have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We always stay for Wednesday and Thursday, then go home Friday. By Friday, we're ready to go. So it's a really cool experience, really awesome thing to be at. And so, yeah, that's all we got for this week. So thanks for tuning in. We got more good stuff coming down the pike, so stay tuned, and we'll see you next week.